Hi YouTube and welcome to a video by the Unlucky Lads. This will detail the raid intel skips and black box locations on critical, regular and low for the raid starting on the 7th of November running through to the 13th of November, which is Project Titan week 207. We hope you'll continue to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, or even gift us $1 for pizza using the donation link in our description below, because any support you give us motivates us to make these early raid intel videos, which allows you to quickly complete the raids and collect the black boxes as soon as the Project Titan week begins. For critical this week, the modifiers will be Darkest Night, Realistic Reload, and Limited Health Regen. And using the intel skips, you'll need to begin by grabbing one intel at the abandoned site to the west of Golem Island, also known as the Fishing Village. Once you have that, you can input the password into the node at the top of Chemical Pipeline, which will open up Baal at the chemical refinery. And after you've beaten the tank Titan, you can head into Sector 2. Gargoyle requires 2 intels at Salamander, then the interrogation of the sniper at Camp Phoenix, and lastly inputting the password he gives you into the node at Testing Zone. And Supercomputer just requires the 4 nodes at Missile Site Ruins to be pressed together. Once you've beaten Gargoyle at Testing Zone, and Supercomputer at the building in the sea, you can move into Sector 3. For Cerberus this week, you'll need 2 intels at Prototype Workshop, before getting a further 1 intel at Traces of Ancient Ruins, which is the cave next to Scandium Mine. Then you can interrogate the bandaged guy at Red Phoenix, before inputting the password he gives you into the node at the top of Lava Duct. Once you've done all of that, you'll have access to Cerberus at the top of Lava Shield, where you can complete the critical raid. And if you're looking for the black boxes on critical this week, there are 2 in Sector 1. The first at Satellite Dish, and the other is at Chemical Pipeline. Then there'll be 2 boxes in Sector 2, the first at Camp Phoenix, and the other at Missile Site Ruins. And finally there's 2 more boxes in Sector 3, the first at Prototype Workshop, with the last one being at Lava Duct. In summary, the modifiers are some of the more harder ones in our opinion, starting with Darkest Night, which can reduce the fun of some people's raid, because the limited field of view becomes a bit tedious over time, especially when the night vision goggles don't seem to work as they should. Lots of people recommend using the Pathfinder class for better night vision, so if you feel comfortable switching class, it might be worth trying that. Next is Realistic Reload, which can become frustrating when you accidentally reload a high capacity magazine, only to realise you've wasted most of the clip. So do try to remember this modifier and consider using a smaller magazine or change your gear. Finally, there's Limited Health Regen, which we actually find one of the more difficult modifiers, because you'll probably end up needing more syringes than normal, and if you do forget about it between fights, you can easily find yourself downed and wondering why it only took 1 or 2 bullets, but then realising it's because you didn't heal up after the previous battle. As for the intel trail, expect it to be longer than last week's very generous raid, because there are no free Titans this week, and the intel trail requires a fair amount of tasks around Golem Island. Starting with Sector 1, where you might want to split away 1 team member to get the intel at Fishing Village, and then send the others to Chemical Pipeline for the password node. Next up is Sector 2, and for Gargoyle you'll need to go to 3 different bases in total, plus if you include the fact that Supercomputer needs a different base, you'll find yourself having quite the tour of this area of the map. Finally, in Sector 3, there's also quite a long intel trail, so if you do feel confident splitting up the squad, it's recommended here to save some time. But as we've said before, splitting up and then someone being downed can often cost more time in the long run. Overall, with the modifiers included, this raid could easily take most players around 80 to 90 minutes to complete. We expect speedrunners to be quicker than that, but it's still going to feel like a long raid, especially when compared to last week's. So if you do run into any problems, please comment below and we'll try to help out so you can finish the raid and earn those rewards. Moving on to regular and low, there are no modifiers and it does just use last week's critical intel and black box locations. So begin by collecting 1 intel from the Cold War site to the northwest of Golem Island. After you have that, you can input the password into the node at Heliport to grant access to Baal at the chemical refinery. And once you beat the tank Titan, you can head into Sector 2. Gargoyle requires 3 intels at Camp Salamander before you interrogate the 2 redheads, one at Camp Phoenix and the other down at Missile Site Ruins. Once you've interrogated both guys, you'll need to input the password into the node at Testing Zone. For Supercomputer, there's no intel required, so you can just head straight to the Quantum boss battle to destroy it. With Gargoyle defeated at Testing Zone, and Supercomputer beaten at the building in the sea, you can head into Sector 3. No intel is required for Cerberus either, so you can head straight up to the Lava Shield and finish the regular or low raids once you've beaten the final Titan. And if you're looking for the raid chests on regular and low this week, there are 2 boxes in Sector 1, the first at Satellite Dish and then the other is at Heliport. Next there's 2 more boxes in Sector 2, the first at Salamander and the other at Missile Site Ruins, but due to the free boss in Sector 3, there aren't any black boxes here this week. That's all for now. We hope you've enjoyed our Intel and Black Box video enough to leave a like and comment, plus subscribe or donate if you haven't already. Although no pressure, because it's all of your support combined that motivates us to make our content. So until next time, peace out, the unlucky lads.